Hi guys, so in this tutorial we are going to learn how to implement encryption and decryption in Node.js. So let's get started. I'm going to create a Node.js project from the scratch and install the requirement modules like Express, Course, Body Parser and CryptoJS. So let's do it now. So here in my Visual Studio IDE, I have opened a folder that is a normal folder. So I want to just convert it into a Node.js project. So let's open a terminal and convert this normal folder into a Node.js project. For that, just enter npm init and just answer the few questions like package names, what you just need to give, and version name, description about the project, entry point that is index.js, and you can just give the requirement properties that will be added in this one package.json file. Okay, so I will just keep it empty. Yeah, so you can see this file got generated. Now let's install the packages or modules that are required like Express, Course, Body Parser and CryptoJS. So let's install them. So to install, just enter npm install and just name the packages or modules. So Express, Course I need, and then Body Parser and then CryptoJS. Add that and just hit the enter button. So this will get install the modules that are required for our project. So you can see node modules folder got created. So now let's create a Express server quickly. So for this I'm going to create two files over here. One is index.js, that is the entry point of our Node.js project, and another is app.js. So here I'm going to define everything like creating a Express server, creating a route, attaching body parser or course to that particular Express server. So let's do that. So here first of all let's import the packages that I have installed. So these are the packages that I need. So Express, Course, Body Parser and CryptoJS library. Now let's create a Express server by making use of Express and other packages attaching to this Express server. So let's do that now. So first of all I must create a app by making use of Express. So app is equal to Express. Okay, and now to this app I want to attach all the modules or a middleware like Course, so that I can communicate, that is cross origin. So for this cross origin I'm making use of Course, and we also need a body parser to be attached to this Express server. So use body parser dot json. Okay, so here I just need to pass a limitation. So I'll just I can just give as 50 MB. Okay, and with this I want to also add a body parser dot encoding. So use body parser dot url encoding limit 50 extended to. So body parser is basically used for data reading inside the body. For example, when we make use of request of body, request dot body, something like this, we should be able to read this body. For example, when we send any data from front end or we send any data from postman in the form of JSON or any kind of data, we should be able to read it. So for that purpose, we make use of body parser. Now finally we need to export this. So for this we can make use of modules.export, and what we need to export, that is app. So let me tell you why I'm exporting it over here. So before that let me create a dummy API. So app.get, and this will be a route, a request, response. So here I have just created a API by making use of Express. So let me send a data to our front end. So response.send, say hello to protocoder's point. Okay, so we have just created a Express server. So let's import this over here. So in index.js I can just import this app.js file and create my server. So const app required, and let's import dot app. Okay, and now by making use of app.listen I can just create or host my Express server to a particular port. So I will just run it on 3001 and create a callback function that will just print a log on the screen. So now I can just run this Node.js project by making use of node index.js. So you can see server running on port 3000. Okay, so let me open my browser, localhost 3001. Okay, so now if I hit, you can see I get the response from my server, that is hello, say hello to protocoder's point, please subscribe. Okay, so our Node.js project with Express server is ready. So now let's work with encrypting and decrypting the data that we get from the front end or from any request in the URL or in the API call. Okay, so let's do it now. Over here, let's go to app.js, and somewhere over here I can just create a function. So let me do that now. Function, and I will just name it as encrypt, and here I'm going to pass two parameters. One is txt or the data I can call it, and another is key. So these are the two parameters that are required for this function. And then here const hypertext, okay, you can just name it anything, CryptoJS dot aes encrypt, and here you just need to pass the data and the key, okay, and then convert it into toString. So here we are going to pass the data that comes from a API, and here there will be a secret key to encrypt this data. Now simply return this encrypted data. Okay, so return creeper text. Okay, so we have created a encryption function. Okay, so for to check this, let's create a API over here. So api.post method. Okay, and I will just create a API route of by name. I can name it as encrypt. So here there will be a callback function that has request and response parameter, and in the request we will just send data and key. Okay, so const request.body. So in request.body we are going to pass data and key. So key is basically to encrypt that particular data, so you can see over here. And now let's call this function and encrypt this particular data. So for that, const encrypt and pass the data and key to the function. Okay, so now finally we have the encrypted data. So response.json, I want to just send encrypted data to the front end. Okay, so let's stop this application and restart it again. Okay, and now I will just make use of postman. Okay, and here encrypt, and in the body I'm going to pass two parameters. One is data and the key. Okay, and in the data thing I can just pass as hello, welcome to protocolders point. So this is the data I want to encrypt, and for encryption model I'm going to pass this secret key. Okay, you can just pass anything over here. Okay, so let's run this and let's check if it works or no. Okay, yeah, so it is 3001 port. Okay, so you can see this is an encrypted data now. Okay, so now let's write a decryption data by which we can just decrypt this data and get the real data, that is this data, from this encrypted data. So for this we need a decryptor. So let's create another function by which we can decrypt the data. Okay, so here let me create a function for decryption. So function decrypt, and here I'm going to accept two parameters. One is the decrypted data, that is this data. Okay, and one more is the key that is been used to encrypt this particular data, right? So we just need to pass two parameters. So I'm going to accept two parameters over here. Okay, so I will just name it as creeper text. Okay, that means it is a encrypted data and the key. Okay, and let me add a try and catch block over here, so for the error handling purpose. So if there is a catch, then I will just throw a message, throw a new error. Okay, and I can just name it, pass the error message as decryption failed due to invalid key. Okay, and now for decryption we can just write a variable bytes. You can just name it anything. I'm going to make it as bytes. So crypto js dot aes dot decrypt. So this time we are going to make use of decryption function. So here we just need to pass this encrypted data that we receive from the front end and the key to decrypt it. Okay, and then finally if byte dot signal bytes is greater than 0, that means that our key was successfully able to decrypt this data. So this key was able to successfully decrypt this particular data. Okay, so const decrypted data bytes dot toString. Okay, so converting into toString, we need to implement crypto en UTC-8 format. So crypto dot enc dot UTC-8 UTF. Okay, UTF-8 it is. Yeah, so it is U capital. Okay, okay, and then just return the decrypted text, decrypted data from here. Okay, so let's create a API for decryption purpose. So what I'll do, I'll just create a decryption function over here, API form. Okay, post method API route decrypt. So this will have request response. So from the front end, we are going to accept two parameters. As I said, that is, one is encrypted data. So this data we are going to pass to our decrypting API, and we are going to pass this key. Okay, so these are the two parameters we need. So from the body, we can just take this encrypted data and key. Okay, and then const decrypted, const decrypt data is equal to decrypt function we are going to call and pass this two data over there. Okay, and then finally return, that is response JSON, the decrypted data. Okay, so let's run this project. So I think so it is running over here. So let me stop, clear the screen and run index.js. Okay, so now let me open this. Let me create a new copy and this will be decrypt. And this time we are going to pass encrypted data over here and the key. Okay, so let me take the parameter. So here, yeah, so these are the data that we need to pass. So encrypted data and the key. So here encrypted data, and let me copy this encrypted data, the same thing. Okay, so you can see if I encrypted this data, I should get this response from my backend server. Okay, so this is the encrypted data. Okay, so now if I hit this, so you can see I have just decrypted this data. Okay, so now in case if the user pass any fake or fake secret key that he don't know, he just want to hack your system to get this encrypted data. So let's say I'm going to pass this some fake key. So let's check what happened. So you can see he gets nothing as the response. Okay, so I want to just show a error over here, that is decryption invalid key. So here in this function itself, so if we get this data being encrypted, decrypted by making use of that particular success key, then we get the data over here. Else we can just throw a message, that is error message, saying that it was unsuccessful, like this. Okay, so now if I do this, so if I run this, you can see I get this error warning on the screen, that is encryption data failed, invalid key. So now if I pass the perfect key, that is this one, I get the response from the server, hello, this data was encrypted. So now let's change this to encryption and let's encrypt some other data. Encrypt, and this is data, and here let's change the message to please subscribe to protocols point. Okay, and the secret key I will just keep it this time something like special symbol, secret key hash dollar hash. Okay, and this is encryption API. So let's check. So it's data. Okay, so I got this encrypted data by making use of this key. Okay, so now let's change this API back to decryption so that I can decrypt this data, that is encrypted data. So decrypt, and let me paste this data message over here, that is encryption format. And here I just need to change this key. Key is this thing. So secret key is this. So let me change the secret key to some fake secret key. So you can see I'm getting this error decrypt. So okay, RYPT, yeah. Okay, so I'm getting this error. So if I pass the correct key over here, I may get perfect response by decrypting this data. Okay, yeah, so this is how you can implement encryption and decryption in our Node.js API or a backend. So that's all for this video tutorial. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe. Protocol Point. Thank you.